as you budgeted, and today I wanted to get going on my paycheck number 1 budget. This is from the 1st to 15th of June, and it is actually like a week later from my budgeting video, but I just haven't gotten around to this, and I actually started filling this out. I don't know if you can see it. There might be some faint pencil lines in here, but I'm actually going to be doing that with you so you guys can kind of see what my process is. A lot of times it doesn't even out to exactly what I want it to, but hopefully, and this time it did. But yeah, and then I also have some new products that I want to show you after I'm done with this budget. But let's just jump into this. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know that when I get new videos posted. And if you're returning, thank you guys so much for returning, and let's just get right in here. So for my meal pay, I did end up getting $2107.50, and just a change that's coming with my next paycheck is instead of doing my meal pay and my side job, I'm just going to do my meal pay on this budget, and then I'm actually going to have another sheet that I will just budget my side income out of. That way I'm not like writing a whole bunch of stuff. But what you'll see here is I'm gonna kind of break it down so that you can see exactly what I brought in. This isn't normally how I do things. Usually I just run through the planned budget and don't do any actuals. I might throw some in here and there. But because I'm already a week into the month and a week into my 2-week paycheck, I might as well just go ahead and start filling this in with you guys. So for my actual income for my side job / other, this is kind of like all encompassing this category. So now it'll be other instead of side job moving forward. But I had 109 in my cash tips jar, which I keep here on my desk. And then I had some leftover cash from my cash envelopes. And you'll see moving down when I fill in the actuals for my cash envelopes, I don't put my actual numbers in for my cash envelopes. I do track them. I have a spreadsheet on my computer that I track all of my apps, or all of my cash envelopes. And I also use the Every Dollar app to track all of that too. So any leftover money, I tend to just budget it in as a cash rollover instead of budgeting in down here as a cash envelope like actuals, just because then it throws off my budget, and I don't know why, but that's just what it does. But anyways, I had $109 between my jar of tips and my cash envelopes, and then I also had my paycheck for my side job come in, and that was $271.37. And then I had income from my sinking funds, which I'm not sure if I'll continue using this method, but basically I'm going to, like, wherever I use my sinking funds down here, I'll write in the spent section, and then I'll move that money up here into my actual, and then I will budget that out with the rest of my budget. So with that, I had, let me calculate the two amounts that I had together because I don't want to take up too much space more than I need to. So I had $537 from my house sinking fund and $345 from my car maintenance. So together that ended up to $882. And when I add all of those together, that gets me $3369.87, which is a lot. $3,369.87. Okay, so moving down, I am going to go ahead and uncover my bills section here. So for my mortgage, I did set aside $595. This is sitting in my checking account. just waiting to be used come the 15th. For electricity, I budgeted $70, and I ended up getting my bill, so that's why I was able to budget so low, because originally I was gonna budget much higher at like $150, but my bill came in at $69.88. My massage is always the same, $64.35, and that did come out. My cell phone is $46. My mom, I send her a check, and I'm on their cell phone plan, and then iTunes is 99 cents. That has not come out of my account yet, but I know for a fact that it will, because it's been pretty consistent for the last couple of years, honestly, so I'm not too worried about that. And when I total all of those up, I'm not going to use my calculator because I already did most of the math for this, but when I total all of those up, my planned expense was $776.33, and my actuals, let me just find my marker here, was $776.22. So just below, just because of that electricity bill, it's only like 12 cents difference or something like that. Which means that I had a remaining of $2,593.65. So when I moved down to my cash envelopes here, I budgeted $285, which would have left me with $1,246.16 out of my original budgeted amount. And again, I'm not going to be like tracking, I guess, my spending here. Basically, once I put it into my envelopes, it's in my envelopes, and I'm going to consider it spent. If I do have a rollover, that will show up in the income section as a cash rollover each paycheck or pay period. So for down here, I'm just gonna say that I spent all of this. Currently being middle of my paycheck right now, I'm doing pretty decent. I think I've got $40 left in eating out. I've got $122 left in groceries. Travel, I think I'm only down to like $15 just because I had to fill up my tank, and then I drove somewhere where I needed to use the turnpike. And then for personal, I'm actually pretty low on this one, but I think I've got a couple dollars still in there. But again, that adds up to my total, and so far I haven't done anything unbudgeted. But if I do, usually I just assume it's coming out of one of these ones and try to offset the cost that way. That way I'm not pulling from my cushion, but you never know. So with that, that's $285, kind of as expected, and that leaves me with $2,308.65. Moving down to my sinking funds, I'll move you guys up here because you can't see that far down. Moving down to my sinking funds and savings, I had $285 planned, and then my $200 for my additional sinking funds. This month I needed extra money going into my car fund because I was getting my brakes changed. So since I ended up getting paid more than my original amount of planned, so I got paid $271, that's what I put over here in the actual. Same thing with my sinking funds amount. That was planned. I'm a salaried worker, so I'm not going to see a change there. However, I did write in here, and you'll see this later. I'm going to just stick my finger over this for a second. But I had some spending out of my cushion, and so because of that, I didn't plan for it, but I did have some overspending from last pay period, and it was $24.79. So again, sorry about the pencil marks. I did this ahead of time just because I was trying to stay on top of it and make sure that my math was all correct. When I add these all together, that's $580.79, and the original amount was going to be $485, and it was going to leave me with $761. However, obviously I'm left currently with $1,727.86, which is pretty good. Another change that I think will be coming here shortly is that I'm actually going to be removing this section and maybe making this its own sheet that I can track on, just because my like income or added amounts, my spent amounts, like sometimes I spend more than once in a month and then I have to add up all of these amounts. But yeah, I don't like necessarily tracking it that way. So, but I will go ahead and give you guys a sneak peek of what I have been doing for my sinking funds, because I think up until this point, you guys have all seen just me filling out this section. What I do is I write down how much I have already currently sitting in the sinking fund, so my starting balances, and then I write in my added amounts. So this is what I added and how my breakdown from up here kind of comes down into play down here. So 285 plus 271 is $556. I think that's right. Let me just double check that. So 285 plus 271 is 556. So that's right. So that's what I ended up putting into my sinking funds over here, as you can see there. And what I ended up spending, I spent $344, I think it was like $344 and some change at the car place. I'm just gonna put $345 because that's what it was. And that leaves me with a balance of $26 in this fund. I don't plan on spending any more out of that this pay period, but hopefully I'll be implementing my new sheet by the time my next pay period starts, so I won't be needing this section down at the bottom. Christmas, I haven't spent anything, obviously, because it's June and I'm not starting Christmas shopping just yet. 39 is what I started with for holidays and gifts. I added 11. Technically, I think I did pull $10 out of this, but I might be wrong. But I'm not gonna fill that one out yet. I think at this moment I haven't put anything in, but I will be pulling out of this, and unfortunately it won't reflect in any of my actuals for this, but that's the whole point in me getting a new sinking fund specific worksheet, just so that I'm not putting it into my income up at the top. So right now I'm gonna put 0. I don't wanna fill that out. I'm moving down to house. House had $430 in it. I added $148, which is my actual. I added $40 from my paycheck, from my side income, and then $108 from my main income. And so I also spent then $537. It was actually $536 and some change, which you'll see reflected up here in a later section. But I like to pull out more, like $1 more or round up, so that this is always an even number when it comes to the end of that. Other, I added $10. I have $20. I haven't spent anything out of it, and I don't plan on spending anything out of it. Pets, I'm not gonna spend anything out of that one either. Self-care doesn't have anything in it, so I'm not gonna spend out of it because I don't have anything to spend. Updates has $546, and I added $91 this pay period. I'm not gonna spend out of that either. I'm not planning on any major upgrades to the house. And vacation, I added $10, and I'm not gonna pull out of that one until my parents come visit, which is not until later on this month. So that leaves me with an outgoing balance of $882, because that's what I mathed those two numbers to be. And I'm not gonna go ahead and fill that in. That was just an example of like what I tend to do. So I'll take my starting balance, add my amount that I've added for this pay period, subtract the amount that I've spent, and then I get my new total balance. So that's that. I'll move you back down here, and I will go ahead and uncover this section here is my debt. So down here in my debt section, I did pay my regular balance for my Citibank, so $160. And I also did the same thing for my Apple, $125. And then this is where you'll see the differences coming in here. I'm actually not going to fill this in yet. I'm going to skip you right down to my other section. In other, I did have, this is where like I reflect my spending from my like income up here. Yeah. So I had my patio furniture, which was an Amazon purchase from my house fund. And I obviously did not plan anything for that, but I spent $5.36.21. And then I had my brake change, so I'll just put brakes here, from my car, and I didn't plan the amount there, but it did come out of my sinking fund, so I'm just gonna put, and I'm rounding it up to $3.45, even though it was just slightly less than that. So I did not put the change on that one because I just rounded it up. I don't actually remember what the exact change is, but I know it was $3.44 and like some change. But with that, obviously I originally did not plan for anything here. And that still left me with a $0 budget at the bottom. But with this one, okay, so that totaled out to be negative 181 or 881 and 21 cents, which left me with a total of 846 and 65 cents. And then I can bring that back up here. These two here together totaled 285, which left me with 561.65, and that is exactly what I ended up putting into my car loan for this pay period. And that is a total of 846.65, which leaves me with a zero-based budget. And yeah, so I wanted to show you guys like kind of like the process of what I actually do and how I actually do this. As you can see down here, I did fill out my cash breakdown so that I could get my cash envelopes stuffed and ready for the month when I needed them. However, I did not film or show you guys my planned expenses, and I figured I would run through what I do with my actual budget and how things play out. Sometimes they don't work out quite well, but this time they did. And yeah, so there's that. And then real quick, I'm gonna zoom you out because I wanna show you my new budgeting sheet for my side income. So instead of doing it like I do here with the 200 and then like including my side income there, moving forward for paychecks number 2 and 3 of my side income, as well as like in the future of any side income, I'm going to go ahead and just fill out a sheet like this. This is my extra income budget sheet. I had originally used this, and I will go ahead and link it up here in the cards. I had originally used this for my stimulus check. So I can use this for multiple things. I just added a line up here so that I could write in what it's for so I can keep track of it. So that concludes this video. Thanks for joining me on this income budgeting journey. And I will leave it at that. Have a good day. Have a good week. Bye.